5. And in the second game, Edelson again defeating Mark Traver 199 to 146. Total of 24 strikes, including 9 in this victory. Edelson over Sullins 247 to 194. And now 2 non-winners head-to-head in the final game, Bo. It should be a beauty.
Well, both players are due to win, especially Eric. He's had a good match, and D'Entremont's been very tough. Now, let's take a look at the top 24 as we had a field of 160 players here. Look at the game average, 222.46, 225 to make the top 24. Parker Bowen shot 254 the last game to get knocked out. Young, a good season. Dennis Jakes, Schlegel coming back. Tommy DeLutz says hi to his grandmother who's recovering in the hospital. Richardson led early in the tournament. Jason Couch, Rookie of the Year candidate. Brian Voss, formerly from this area. Randy Peterson says he's struggling with his game, but he still finished 16th. Big Steve Cook. Joe Salvemini, Laster, been solid all year long, 23rd. Rounding out the top 24, Petrovich, a solid field, a great championship match coming up, Chris.
Yes, it is. Dave D'Entremont of Parma, Ohio. As we look at our next stops, June 6th. That's 1 week from today for the Oregon PBA Open at Hollywood Bowl in Portland. And for the locals there, it starts at 10. Okay, 2 weeks from today, Active West PBA Open in Riverside, California.
Chris setting up the championship match. We've had 17 championship matches so far this year, and the tournament leader has only won 3 times. So what do you feel that a tournament leader can do, Chris? It's really a difficult situation, and this young man has all the momentum.
Right. 3 wins, 24 strikes, shot number 1. So, in your march to 17 PBA titles, did you prefer the top spot?
Top spot is a great place to be, Chris, if you learn how to bowl from that position. And my experience tells me is to cut the hook down, go with more speed, be very aggressive in the early frames. Dick Weber taught me that lesson, and it's a good one to learn. It's a way to stay in the match, right? Number 1 position.
And D'Entremont did just that, didn't he? Beautiful shot.
You're right, Pards. And look at this style. He takes the full approach, 5-step delivery, a big, powerful guy with a powerful game, and he keeps getting better and better. And look at the height of the backswing, but look at everything in position. Watch him drive with that right foot, the good deep knee bend. A classic style in the cranker mode. High in the middle of the approach, low at the end. He starts with a strike.
And the 31-year-old goes left.
Well, this is where I'm talking about the speed. Everybody is tentative when you've sat around for a while and bowling in a championship match. He throws the ball too softly and leaves the 3-10. Needs to get the ball near the 3-pin. Hopefully the ball will deflect into the 10. But once again, keeping the ball speed up is the key in the early going of a match.
And the tournament leader has an open following a booming strike.
And our statistician today, who was a great tournament leader, Butch Soper, returning after a brief illness, back on the tour. Butch doing a good job, and he was always tough from number 1.
When you win, you have breaks in any sport.
Agreed, and he's loose. Look at the deep knee bend. See the real solid follow through, the snap of the wrist. The head pin goes to the sideboard. The 5 gets driven straight back. He's off to a great start. And that's been the downfall of the tournament leaders. They can't get out of the gate. Here we see it once again after just 2 shots. D'Entremont is trailing by 22, and it could be 32 if Eric can throw this strike.
Usually he has strung 3 in the middle of the first 3 matches. Now he opens with 3. He is with it. Important strike for Dave D'Entremont. He's improved each year since '89, and for him, there's a simple explanation.
Well, I came out in '89 with the full intention of bowling full-time. Made the show the first week. Unfortunately, about a month later, I went home and found out I had pneumonia. Went through a real hard time for about a year and a half. The fall of '90, I came out full-time to bowl again, and for the most part, I've been bowling well since. Confidence is high. I've been gaining experience every week, so now I go into every week feeling I should bowl well.
Oh, how he needed that double there, Bo.
You're right, Chris, and a bad break. He bows a 5 right behind the 7, and watch the pin action. The ball is so strong, it actually knocks the 5-pin behind the 7. If it wasn't quite as strong, he'd have struck. The 5-pin goes shooting right behind the 7-pin, the 4 in front of it. An awful break in the 4.
But he steps right up and fires away. The Seattle Open will continue at Skyway Park Bowl after this. Mike Connor out west with his wife Patty, and watching me too. There's Patty.
Edelson with a commanding lead of 32 pins. He's perfect through 3 frames. Championship game, Seattle Open.
5'10", 185 pounds. Leaving a 2, which he's very familiar with today.
Agreed. As you see the ball coming towards you, if you were looking out, if you were a pin boy circa 1950, this is what you might see. But you wouldn't have seen that kind of pin action in 1950. That would have been a 2-8 spare. The pins weren't light enough or bouncy enough to carry out the 8. And that's made it a much easier shot and a much easier game to knock the pins down.
Okay, continuing to mark.
Eric's opponents have only averaged 181 against him, as he's averaged 224 for the day. And since this is our 30th year, Chris, I've looked back 20 years to see the scoring in the championship round through 17 weeks. 1972, the average score in the championship round was 209.44. 1992, 209.88. So nothing much has changed in 20 years except the names.
Good point. Fortunately, the total money has changed considerably, but I think not enough.
Agreed. The players and Mike Connors, who we just related to, are working to rectify that. A spare that this young man is familiar with, the 10-pin. Missed it once today, converted the other times.
Eric Edelson, who's had games at 225, 199, and 247. And for our tournament leader, naturally, it's his first match. He's been waiting off to our right throughout the afternoon to watch his opponent, Eric, win 3. Here he is now with the spare up, shooting in the 5th frame, trailing by 30. There's his wife, Sylvia.
Dave D'Entremont, probably the most underrated player by the media out here on the PBA Tour. He's 3rd in all-time winnings among non-winners. He's won $255,000. Now let's see how he attacks the championship pair. Dave, the big guy, will start here and drift a little left and have a target in this area. So he's going to walk left, let that big, powerful swing slide out through that area.
Hitting a 10. Earlier we talked about earnings. Last year, Dave earned $68,928, and that's far this year. And we're nearing the end of May. $66,695 with a second at the Park Lanes in Baltimore and a second at the Bud Light ABC Masters.
And rated in the top 10 in points, which is awarded for performance out here on the tour. And not that type of performances. He has really dug himself a ditch.
Hurried the shot, Bo?
Just not prepared, Chris. He looks like he slipped on the approach, and it's one thing a player has to do is check the approaches on the championship pair. David on the extreme left side after a bad break and leaving the 10 pin. Now misses it 42 pins behind. 6th frame.
Started with 3 strikes, pair of spares. Now a single pin, the 4 pin for Edelson.
He can make those single pins. He has not had a double wood spare since this 2nd match. This is his 4th.
Winner today will receive $18,000 and will become eligible for next year's Firestone Tournament of Champions. That goes for either of the 2. First telecast, the 6th for this man, Dave D'Entremont.
When you're trailing by 41,
wow,
it's a little bit hotter, huh? The big man is sweating.
You know, Bo, our producer Carol Letty and director Larry Kim said I could wish my sister Florence a happy birthday.
Does Florence live in Bippus, Indiana, partner?
On the Homestead Farm, and Carolyn, Ernie, and I wish her the happiest and many more.
All right, for Dave D'Entremont, he averaged better than 230 leading this field for 4 straight days. The 5th day, we know he can throw strikes. He's had a couple of bad breaks. He had a 7 pin in the 4th frame. He missed a 10 pin in the 6th. As you can see, D'Entremont, the leader after 42 games, and he can throw strikes, but it behooves him to get striking right now or he cannot win. Back to what I was talking about. How to lead a tournament is one way, as you see Ted Gladby and his good friend and college mate Eric, who has a tournament he can mark. Going back to what I said, Chris, you got to be aggressive from that #1 position. And Dave D'Entremont is 0 for 4 in strikes on the left-hand lane, and that's been his downfall. He had a 3-10 split, a 7 pin, a 10 pin, which he missed, and now a 4 pin. This man has been able to hit both lanes all day long.
I don't think, Bo, I've ever seen such, maybe resignation on the faces of the 4 that haven't bowled so well today. You know, get late in the game and it's just like, what can I do that's right?
Well, I agree. They have never really gotten zeroed on the pair, but this young man never gave them an opening. You know, he never just laid down and said, hey, I'm going to miss a couple of spares or throw a split. Here's an opening. He stayed right on top of them. Good match play composition.
Remember, he was our 5th seed. So now he has gone through 3.5 or 3 3/4 the field, and looks promising with that lead of 41 pins, Bo.
No doubt. Needs 1 mark in either the 9th or 10th frames to win his first championship, his first time ever in a TV finals.
We said 3 of 17 tournament leaders have won. 4 have won this year from the #5 position.
Very interesting. And all 3 of those tournament leaders were consecutive weeks. It was Hamilton in Peoria, Forkel in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Bob Learn defeated this man in Baltimore. So it's been very great. David looks up to the announce booth, but there's not much anybody can say to him. He'll have to critique what happened here. I think he's awfully, awfully tough player, and he'll only get better and learn by losses.
And he's 30 years old, and he knows how to get into the money side of this game, as we told you earlier, with $66,000 last year and already this year, that amount. So, $18,000 to this young man. More important, his first win. So, we're going to leave here for a moment. We're going to hear from Frank Gifford and a commercial. Of course, the 18,000 to you and Sylvia. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody here at Skyway Park Bowl and the party family and everybody who made the tournament possible. I had a great time and be back here next year.
Speaking of the parties, here's Rod, co-proprietor, and Ray Benson, the manager, with loot and a trophy. Rick.
Congratulations, Eric, on a great victory here at Skyway.
Thank you very much.
So you'll always be reminded, Ray Benson steps in with the trophy. Next week in Portland, Eric, I'm sure.
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay, so will we, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in Portland 1 week from today. In Portland, it starts at 10 a.m. Goodbye.
The Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team, and by Power Stick Antiperspirant, power that won't let you down. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.